Hello, everybody. We'll give you all a second to kind of trickle in and get seated and ready for our summer 2026 preview. How you doing, Jaleesa? How are you doing in this 30-degree, somewhat summery weather?
Very warm.
Yes.
Did all the ice around you melt?
No, not yet. I'm hoping soon, and I hope that the driveway doesn't become an ice skating rink. That's my ultimate goal for that.
It just sounds like a good time. So
it does, actually. You never know. I get some ice skates. Maybe I can compete in the Olympics. We'll see. Might be a little past the prime for the Olympics, but we'll see.
Maybe like a beginners Olympics.
Yeah. There we go. We'll
novice one.
We'll say beginners Olympics. That sounds good. But we'll give it a couple more seconds just to let people trickle in. I hope everybody's keeping warm and cozy as well. All righty. Well, we'll get started, and I wanted to say hello to our book community and our favorite readers. Thanks so much for spending some time with the Charlesbridge Sales and Marketing team this afternoon and joining our conversation. I'm Lindsay Atkins, and I'm joined by my colleagues Jaleesa Burwell and later on Alex McKenzie, as well as Donna Spurlock and Rachel Duty in the chat as we take a look at our summer 2026 list. As we are chatting live today, we'd love to hear from you. So please feel free to drop your thoughts, comments, and questions into the comment section and join in on the conversation. By engaging in the chat, you are also entering our giveaway for free books. Each selection will pose a question at the beginning for you to mull as you listen along. One random winner will be selected at the end of each section. All you have to do is answer the section question in the chat for a chance. If you could be so kind as to make sure that your display name lists both your first and last name or first name and organization so we can match winners with our registration list. We'd appreciate it, as we'll be following up with you after the webinar today to claim your prize. And one last housekeeping note for any Massachusetts librarians, teachers, or booksellers joining us today. We are co-hosting a Kid-Lit event with Nosy Crow, North South, Pushkin Press, and Steerforth Press on March 11th at Night Shift Brewery at Lovejoy Wharf in Boston. Come join us for an evening of good fun, good books, and more info can be found in the link in the chat. We did this last fall, and it was a lot of fun. So come in and join us. So with that, let's talk some books. So first up on the list, we have Embracing New Beginnings. And these books will help young readers navigate change with curiosity and confidence. They offer reassurance, emotional grounding, and a reminder that growth often begins with something new. So the question for this section is, what book do you turn to when you want to help students feel hopeful at the start of something new? I always feel like singing High School Musical when I say start of something new. I digress. All right, first up on the list, we have Otter's New Neighbors. I'll tell you, when we were first introduced to our newest import with Otter's New Neighbors, we fawned over this adorable little guy. But even more, we all fell in love with the story. Otter is new to the lakeside community and finds that his neighbors are all bringing him gifts. He feels welcomed by this lovely group of animals. However, the last neighbor to arrive makes everyone startle. And let's just say he gives off a big presence in the room and makes a mess of things. The group doesn't let that deter them, though. They come together to fix what was broken, and something even more important is created in the end: community. This is a gentle, engaging story about inclusion, teamwork, and choosing kindness, even when something or someone feels different or overwhelming. It taps into the universal experience of moving, meeting new neighbors, and learning how to welcome others. It's a prime choice for Read Aloud, as it sparks conversations about community, empathy, and working together, making it a strong addition to any classroom or library collection. Now, this next one may look familiar to you all, just in a smaller format this time. 10 Beautiful Things by Molly Beth Griffin is now a board book. Very excited about this. I'll give you a refresher. Lily and her grandma are on a road trip in the Midwest to their new home. Along the way, they search for 10 beautiful things. First, a morning sunrise. Second, a windmill farm. The 10th and maybe most important thing of all is the love that they have for each other. We are so happy to make this beloved story and accessible to the littlest readers. What makes it stand out is that it introduces ordinal numbers, not just counting, while preserving the emotional heart of the story. A perfect choice for early numeracy and social emotional collections. Now, continuing on the Molly Beth Griffin train, we have another sweet and touching story from her, Everything Grandma Needs. And now, this next one, I feel in my soul. My dear Grandma Gloria has knickknacks, or as we call them, tchotchkes galore. We counted this winter, and she has around 23 Christmas trees that she puts up around her house. And yes, I say Christmas trees, big ones, small ones. We should take advice from this next book on how to downsize. When Grandma announces that she's moving from her big old house to a new little condo, she and her family realize she has too many things. They just won't fit in her new place. The family finds the solution in creating 3 piles: keep, donate, and throw away. As each pile grows, Grandma realizes it will be okay so long as she saves space in her new condo and her heart for those that she loves most. This is a realistic depiction of downsizing, new experiences, and all the big feelings associated with them that I think teachers and librarians will be able to pull many lessons or curriculum hooks from. Parents can also utilize this story as a heartfelt tool to teach mindfulness, gratitude, and the gentle way of letting go of what no longer serves you. So, as someone who is notoriously horrible at accepting change, this story would have aided me so much as a child in adapting to new normals. Landing in a Pond introduces us to a family that's new to the neighborhood, something the young little boy of the group is having a hard time digesting. As he adjusts, he finds 41 new duck friends to play with, feed, and take care of. Even though Mom tells him not to get attached, they'll fly south for the winter. He hopes they'll want to stay, though. In a satisfying conclusion, his little sister, now more independent after a year of growth and changing seasons, steps forward and quacks, asking if her brother wants to play once the ducks have flown away. Even without his feathered friends, he is not alone. Books that address change and emotional resilience are perennial favorites in children's literature, as every child encounters loneliness, hope, transition, and connection. This story may be especially appealing to educators looking for tender explorations of sibling dynamics, even perhaps inspiring a hug or two at story time. Maybe, possibly, probably not. So to wrap up this section, the reminder that the giveaway question, what book do you turn to when you want to help students feel hopeful at the start of something new? So fun.
All right, and that comes to me now. So these, in the face of adversity, these stories highlight resilience, courage, and hope, showing young readers that challenges can be met with strength and creativity. For this section's giveaway question, it is, what's one book you'd recommend to a child facing a tough situation to help motivate or encourage them? Once again, what's one book you'd recommend to a child facing a tough situation to help motivate or encourage them? Now, continuing the spirit of No Voice Too Small and No World Too Big, I'm happy to share No Brain the Same, introducing 14 poems spotlighting neurodivergent activists to inspire kids ages 5 to 9 to make change. Each poem is written by a poet who has something in common with each activist, including activists like Billie Eilish, Dara McAnulty, and Lee Shenji, Jen M. Jameson Brown. This is a third book in a collection of inspiring and powerful biographical poems curated by Lindsay Metcalf and Jeanette Bradley and Keela Dawson, capturing activists in a profile that includes a portrait, information about them and their passion, and a poem about their efforts penned by 14 children's lit grades. Additional text goes into detail about each activist's life and how readers can get involved. Curriculum connections include poetry analysis, biography, social emotional learning, and conversations around neurodiversity and activism. Next up is A Light for Lucinda. This is a lyrical picture book for 6 to 9-year-olds set during the Cuban Revolution that shows how even in moments of fear and uncertainty, family becomes a source of strength. Author-illustrator Olga Herrera draws from her Cuban culture and her mother's lived experience during the Cuban Revolution. As military violence unfolds outside, Lucinda's family joins each other to push furniture against doors, fill cracks and wet. Oh my, sorry, you guys. Fill cracks with wet napkins and light candles as darkness comes. Amidst the blasts and cries, Lucinda's heart taps against her chest. This tender story offers young readers an age-appropriate way to explore upheaval while holding fast to hope and resilience, honoring the human instinct to create order and stability during times of chaos. This story invites both children and adults to pause and reflect. It connects naturally to curriculum's discussions of war and history through the Cuban Revolution, while also celebrating Cuban culture through the perspective of a Latina author. Through rich, sensitive, and uplifting storytelling, it honors the small grounding rituals that help children feel safe when the world feels uncertain. Back matter includes a recipe for Cuban picadillo, offering an additional point of connection for our food lovers. A Light for Lucinda will be released simultaneously in English and in Spanish. Nepesny Renegade, A Bison's Journey to a Lyrical Picture, is a lyrical picture book based on the true story of a wild bison separated from his home. The story follows Nepesny as he is taken far from the plains, suddenly removed from the land and family he knows. Sad, lonely, and homesick, Nepesny searches for his family and a place where he belongs in this adventurous and emotional journey. Through the gentle storytelling of award-winning Ojibwe author and poet Marcia Arendon, and paired with stunning illustration by Ojibwe artist Sam Zimmerman, the book explores what it means to lose and ultimately rediscover home. Young readers are introduced to the importance of bison in Native communities, as well as the real-world efforts to protect and restore these herds after generations of displacement and decline. Grounded in true events, Nepesny Renegade gently touches on themes of separation, survival, and belonging in an age-appropriate way, making it especially meaningful for animal lovers and readers drawn to true stories. Back matter further enriches the reading experience by highlighting the vital connection between animals, the land, and Native people in the United States. Together, the story and additional back matter invite reflection and discussion, positioning the Nepesny Renegade as both a beautifully told animal story and a thoughtful introduction to cultural and environmental stewardship. Question for you all. Who said only girls can twirl and boys must take the lead on the dance floor? A Place to Dance, How Richard Lamberty Brought Change to the Ballroom, joyfully challenges that idea in this vibrant picture book biography by beloved LGBTQ author Eric Rosswood and Richard Lamberty himself, illustrated by Vincent Chen. From a young age, Richard loved dancing, especially ballroom, but he was drawn to the moves traditionally reserved for girls. Curious and determined, he learned to dance both roles, opening new possibilities for himself and for the dance world. That passion led Richard to compete with a male partner in the gay games in Europe, and later to co-found the April Follies, now the longest running and largest queer partner dance competition in North America. Along the way, he helped redefine what partnership, leadership, and expression can look like on the dance floor. As a two-time world champion ballroom dancer and LGBTQ icon, Richard Lamberty's life story offers young readers a powerful example of what it means to follow your joy, even when it challenges tradition. Through affirming storytelling and an inclusive lens, A Place to Dance celebrates creativity, self-expression, and the freedom to lead, to twirl, and to find a place where they feel fully seen. I'm excited to share these powerhouse creators as I introduce our next title, Anansi the Talking Cloth. Not only is it illustrated by Caldecott Honor Award winner Equel Holmes, but it's also written by award-winning author Caroline Brewer in collaboration with master Kent cloth weaver Kwasi Oser. This rhythmic picture book reimagines the beloved African trickster Anansi the spider. through the rich cultural tradition of Clint cloth making. When the spiders who weave the cloth stop weaving in protest against mass-produced textiles, the sun itself refuses to shine, and the entire city is thrown into chaos. Anansi has to draw on his cleverness, his past mistakes, and the wisdom of his wife to restore harmony, honor the weavers, and save both the city and the cultural legacy of Kent cloth weaving. Told in lively verse, this story's rhythm and repetition makes it a perfect read aloud. At the same time, the text feels culturally specific and deeply rooted, offering readers both a window into West African traditions and a mirror that reflects the importance of respect, craft, and community. With Ekwa Holmes' stunning textured artwork, created in part through research and travel to Ghana, this book offers a fresh, meaningful take on a familiar character, celebrating cultural heritage while giving Anansi a powerful new story for today's readers. And that wraps up this section. As a reminder, the giveaway question was, what's one book you'd recommend to a child facing a tough situation to help motivate or encourage them?
I cannot wait for Anansi. Those Echo Home illustrations are just sublime. Oh, I can't wait. So excited. Alrighty, next up we've got layered learning. And what I really love about these next releases is that they invite children to discover more with each reread, blending story, humor, and concept building in ways that grow alongside the reader. So the question for our section today, if you could make a book that included your favorite topics to learn about, what would that look like? All right, so when you were a kid, did you ever have that moment when you thought a monster could be following you? I always felt like if I didn't run up the basement stairs fast enough, the monster dweller that lived in the shadows would just snatch me right up. Louis here has a similar fear, although his is more smart. It's sharks. Perfect for ages 3 to 7, I Could Be Eaten by a Shark examines Louis as he agonizes over the possibility that he could be eaten anywhere. The ocean, the tub, even the park. His sweet grandfather recognizes and acknowledges his anxiety and dispenses some wisdom on how to overcome his fear and anxiety. Fans of Jabari Jumps and After the Fall, How Humpty Dumpty Got Back Up Again, I saw a couple of those mentions in the comments, will enjoy this amusing picture book, while parents and educators will appreciate its thoughtful, humorous take on helping kids navigate realistic and unrealistic fears. Spoiler alert, kids will also love when Louis becomes a grandpa himself and the surprise about a future friend of his. Now, my friends, if you can believe it, Luna Picks a Lucky Dumpling is our 13th, count it, 13th storytelling math picture book. It features a familiar character and an exploration into probability. Luna and her cousin are stoked for the Dragon Boat Festival and are making sticky rice dumplings for the event. Hidden inside some of them is the lucky golden egg yolk, which of course everyone wants. Bebe, Luna's youngest cousin, especially wants that golden yolk. Can Luna and Mina improve his chances of picking a lucky dumpling? This third adventure with Luna showcases the concept of probability, while also featuring Chinese American characters and a back matter note about the Dragon Boat Festival, which takes place in June of this year. The school and library market has wholeheartedly embraced this series and its individual titles, which continue to offer approachable ways for kids and adults to talk about math through engaging stories that deliver clear and lasting lessons. Now, a handful of years ago, I worked as a children's bookseller on the shoreline of Connecticut. And when this book, Seaside Stroll, came into the store, I honestly thought it was written about our town and fell in love with the expressive illustrations and lyrical wordplay. I couldn't be more excited to have its companion book, Sunrise Sail, coming out this summer. Following the wordplay fun, every word in this story starts with the letter S, as it invites readers 3 to 7 on a stunning sunrise sail. When a sudden squall interrupts a picnic, everything is soggy and the sailboat slips away. Will someone save the day? I can't believe I got through that with no mess ups. There is nothing better than some clever wordplay, especially when it offers up learning opportunities for sight and sound recognition and decoding. When author Charles Trevino is the retired director of an ASL interpreter program and took inspiration from ASL poetry for both Stroll and Sail. I can't leave out a mention of our fan favorite illustrator, Maribel Lechuga, who crafted these gorgeous summer adventure images, as well as other titles on the Charles Bridge list, including 10 Beautiful Things, What's in Your Pocket, and Night Owl Night. Next up, our favorite little reader, Lola, has had quite a busy couple of years. The last we saw her in Lola's Moving Day, her mommy was having another baby, and they were getting ready to move. With a new baby in the house, big sister Lola needs to take a break every now and then. So she builds a hideout where no kids are allowed. This newest adventure in the best-selling Lola Reads series celebrates kid hideouts as safe, imaginative spaces for play and emotional growth, featuring an especially adorable Lola-ready fort. That's a beautiful fort I want. Hideout centers on navigating shifts in family dynamics, including adjusting to new roles and routines in a growing family. The story offers meaningful support for older siblings who may need a space of their own to process big feelings, set boundaries, and adapt to changes such as welcoming a new sibling. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but I think this next book is giving off a certain smell. Fans of the Whose Is That series and last summer's Who Is Making All That Noise will welcome Who Is Making That Big Stink, the second title in this engaging spin-off series that brings playful, kid-friendly humor to a familiar guessing game format. This nonfiction animal picture book for ages 3 to 7 is designed for high-energy read-alouds, inviting children to listen closely, make predictions, and participate as they explore animal behaviors in a memorable and delightfully gross way. With its interactive structure and sensory-driven questions, the book supports early inquiry skills while keeping classrooms and story times laughing. So to wrap up this section, the reminder to the giveaway question is, if you can make a book that included your favorite topics to learn about, what would that look like? I'm very excited to read some of these, so I'm getting some ideas.
I love the illustrations for Who's Making That Big Stink. The illustrator did such a great job.
So fun.
All right, for our next section. These titles show the range of stories we offer for older readers, from mystery and history to adventure and real-life experiences. So for our giveaway question, what book do you love recommending to older readers and why? I'm excited to share with you a couple of books on our Moves imprint coming out this season. These books are perfect for reluctant readers who just haven't found their kind of books yet. Terror Bird, Book 2 in the Monsters of Fife series, continuing the adventures of monster hunters in 1890s Scotland. If you missed the first book, Sea Dragons, don't worry. The paperback is being simultaneously released with Terror Birds. This planned 3-book series comes from none other than children's literature heavyweight Jane Yolen, and blends historical fantasy with just the right dose of suspense and wonder. 7 months after their encounter with sea dragons, Kat Douglas and her fellow members of the Scottish Royal and Ancient Monster Hunters are hoping for a quiet end to the school term, until a mysterious dog collar, a chilling dream, and rumors of the dreaded black dog signal a new threat. Told through a dynamic mix of prose and graphic novel-style panels, Terror Birds is a fast-paced, highly visual historical fantasy perfect for reluctant readers and the fans of Nevermore and Lockwood & Co. As a reminder, all our Moves books come with a poster and a QR code to more materials online to keep the readers engaged even after they finish reading the book. Monsters of Fife posters are collectible and can be pieced together to create one big poster. Warning. Criminals from different times and places lurk within these pages. Some are hiding in plain sight. Others are counting on you not to notice. Crimes Through Time, Mischief, Missteps, and Dastardly Deeds is an interactive historical adventure written by Rosie McCormick and illustrated by Diego Otero. This nonfiction picture book turns readers into time-traveling detectives, challenging them to spot lawbreakers across centuries and civilizations. From the bustling marketplace of ancient Greece to medieval Canterbury and the rough and tumble streets of Gold Rush era Sacramento, every spread drops readers into a crowded scene filled with clues, suspects, and red herrings. After a briefing packed with historical context, readers must examine each illustration closely. Who's breaking the law? What rule have they violated? And most intriguingly, what kind of punishment would they face in that time and place? The answers are sometimes surprising, sometimes shocking, and always rooted in real history. Packed with Where's Waldo style artwork, speech bubbles, and fascinating details, this book feels like a game, but it's also a smart, engaging exploration of how laws, power, and justice have changed over time. No other children's book suffers such a ranging look at crime and punishment across history in a format that is fun and accessible. Written by former language arts and history teacher Rosie McCormick, Crimes Through Time connects seamlessly to civics education while never feeling didactic. It invites readers ages 9 to 12 to think critically, question authority, and reflect on how our own ideas of justice continue to evolve. I am really excited to share another powerful release from Tracy Sorrell. Known on our list for We Are Grateful and Mascot, Tracy returns to our middle grade list with co-author Will Chavez for Riding the Trail, Cherokees Remember the Removal, a striking photo-illustrated nonfiction journey. This book follows Cherokee youth as they take part in the annual Remember the Removal ride, a 950-mile bicycle journey retracing the Trail of Tears from Georgia to Oklahoma. Riders ride alongside these young people as they train, dive in the Cherokee language, and deepen their understanding of a defining chapter in their tribe's history. What makes Riding the Trail especially powerful is its contemporary lens. Written by enrolled Cherokee Nation citizens, the book places history in the present, showing how remembrance, resilience, and activism live on through today's Cherokee youth. Will Chavez, an award-winning journalist, photographer, alumni writer, and former coordinator of the program, brings both lived experience and stunning visuals to the narrative. Current and archival photographs, maps, and detailed back matter provide rich context, making this an essential resource for classrooms and libraries. And our final book is new to our Charlesbridge teen imprint, Last to Leave. This young adult novel is a trendy, fast-paced mystery for fans of the Knives Out movies and the Netflix's The Residents, with a thoroughly modern twist. 17-year-old video game streamer and content creator Fallon earns a coveted spot on Sleuth It, a 1920s-themed murder mystery reality game with $1 million prize. The rules seem simple. Solve the mystery, stay in the game, and win. Even better, the entire competition unfolds on live stream alongside 7 other young content creators, where every move could mean more followers, more visibility, and a shot at influencer stardom. Written with a deep exploration of streamer culture, Last to Leave offers sharp commentary on content creation, competition, and the pressures of facing young creators, including gender dynamics and online scrutiny. While deeply rooted in today's digital world, the story remains accessible to anyone who loves a good whodunit. At its core, this is a mystery about ambition, identity, and the cost of being seen, where solving the crime is only part of the game and no one gets to have it all. And that wraps up the older readers section. As a reminder, the giveaway question was, what book do you love recommending to older readers and why? Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Alex McKenzie, STEAMWORKS Program Director, who will share an exciting overview of our brand new STEAMWORKS series launching in summer 2026. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll address them at the end.
Thanks so much, Jaleesa. I'm so thrilled to be here to talk about our brand new series, STEAMWORKS, which is, as Jaleesa mentioned, launching this summer. It's made up of fiction, board books, and picture books that focus on STEAM topics. So science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. STEM plus the arts. With these books, we aim to show readers of all backgrounds, abilities, and family structures that they can be scientists, mathematicians, and creatives by showcasing characters that explore questions and problems that are relatable to kids' everyday lives. As the program director and series editor, I've had the privilege of working with our partners over at Counselor Explore, which is an initiative led by the Office of Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, Early Care and Education Department, to bring this series to life. We hope that these stories can show children that STEAM is fun, STEAM is everywhere, and STEAM is for everyone. First up, we have Moon Chef, publishing May 5th in both English and Spanish-English bilingual editions, written by Delia Ruiz and illustrated by Nomar Perez. In this board book, Gabby loves to help Mommy in the kitchen, and over the course of the story, we see them make a month-long moon menu, filling their plates and bellies with foods that match the shape of the moon as it waxes and wanes, from a crescent plantain to a gibbous guava, and much more. Like Delia's own family, Gabby's family is a bicultural Mexican-Puerto Rican family, and the foods portrayed throughout the story reflect a vibrant blending of those two cultures. Back Matter, written by the STEAM experts at our partner organization, explores shapes and the phases of the moon and provides extension activities to take the learning out of the story and into the home or the classroom. It's perfect for fans of our storytelling math board books, young readers interested in space and astronomy, and little ones that like to help in the kitchen. And also coming May 5th, we have board book Manny Matches the Weather, also in both English and Spanish-English bilingual editions. This one's written by Jenny Lafica and illustrated by Antoinetta Munoz Estrada. And Manny has style, but sometimes Manny's style does not match the weather. So Manny needs to learn a way to pick outfits with both fashion and function in mind. Can he observe both the temperature he feels and the weather he sees to do just that? This book is perfect for anyone who has ever tried to convince a toddler that they do indeed need more than a bathing suit to go out in the snow, or that they might be a bit warm in a scarf in July. Independent thinkers can learn how to make their own clothing decisions right alongside Manny. Back Matter, crafted by our STEAM experts, explores temperature and weather and how readers and their caregivers can count, play, and explore together with extension activities. Then in August, our first picture book will be joining the series in English and Spanish, hardcover and paperback editions. Sounds of Trash is written by Tina Athaid and illustrated by Neha Rawat. When Pran and his friends learn that the neighborhood block party is moved to the park where it won't have music, they are determined to find a way for music to be part of the celebration. After some trial and error and more than a few prototypes made from recyclables, they're ready to engineer their way to a jazzy, bhangra-filled day. This book explores the engineering design process and the science of sound. Back Matter supports readers with words to know, concepts from the book to think about, and ways that kids can engage in engineering thinking in their everyday lives. This book will appeal to music lovers, tinkerers, and little ones who see vast possibilities in the most ordinary of objects, sometimes even in trash. The STEAMWORKS series will continue to expand in the fall of 2026 and through 2027, tackling topics like simple machines, time and estimation, sorting and categorization, and so much more. We invite you to stay informed by visiting our series website, www.steamworksbooks.com, where you can find information about each book and downloadable educational materials in both English and Spanish. At this point, we are going to open it up to questions anyone might have about this upcoming series.
I just wanted to sneak in. I wanted to give Alex a shout out for doing such an amazing job putting this series together and giving us books with characters of all backgrounds, abilities, and family structures while discovering STEAM in their everyday lives. I think what you've done is just, I'm speechless about that, like especially with how quickly you had to put this together. So thank you so much for doing that with us.
Thank you, Julissa. I can't wait for these to be out in the world for readers to be able to enjoy the characters as much as we all do.
Yeah, I'm just amazed every time I get to see one of the manuscript or a book, and I'm like, oh wow, this is so cool, and I can relate to this, or I wish I had this as a kid.
I see in the chat a question about how many books we have. This series is going to be made up of 16 books total, 8 in each format, so 8 board books and 8 picture books, all coming out in either English and Spanish or Spanish bilingual editions.
I'm going to sneak in my own little question. What was the biggest surprise for you as you put this series together and learned more about the topics that you came across?
That's a great question. Honestly, I was surprised at how many different ways that STEAM can be connected to the everyday lives of kids. The way that our experts were able to show me how we can connect STEAM learning and STEAM foundational standards to all these fictional stories that kids are going to be interested in was a really great exploration for me.
There's another question that came in. Are these titles good for classroom and or story time settings?
Absolutely. In terms of classroom, they're all aligned with next generation science standards and other learning standards that, while technically come out of the state of California, where our partner organization is located, I found in my experience as a teacher and just in my research that those state standards that we've connected to are pretty universally transferable beyond the state of California. They're great for introducing topics in the classroom or starting conversations at home or in the library. And then the back matter, which, as I mentioned, is written by our set of STEAM experts over at Count, Play, Explore, provides great examples of extension activities that are appropriate for various settings. And then first and foremost, it was our goal for the stories to be interesting and engaging for children. So I think we've captured a lot of joy and fun that will hopefully make them repeat read requests.
Next question. Having them both, oh, sorry, reading the wrong thing. What do you hope readers will gain from the STEAMWORKS title?
I hope readers of all backgrounds will gain confidence in their ability to be STEAM thinkers and explorers in their everyday lives. And perhaps like me, they'll gain an even better understanding of the fact that STEAM really is all around us.
What do you love about STEAMWORKS?
I really love that we've put together such a diverse list of titles, both in character identity and in STEAM topics. So whether you're interested in dance, computer science, animals, music, plant science, or more, and no matter what your background is, our series has something for you to explore, and I'm hopeful that children will be able to find themselves in the books.
All right, well, Alex, thank you so much for joining us to chat about the new STEAMWORKS series and what our readers have to look forward to. Unfortunately, I don't want to keep everyone here forever, so it's time to wrap this up. We're so thrilled all of you were able to join us for the preview of the Summer 2026 Charles Bridge list. Thank you so much for participating in the chat and giveaways. We'll be providing a recording after this event. If you are a giveaway winner and haven't heard from us in 24 hours, please email us at trademarketing@charlesbridge.com. As a reminder, for any Massachusetts librarians, teachers, or booksellers, we will be co-hosting our second Kidlit event with Nosy Crow, North South, Pushkin Press, and Steerforth Press on March 11th at Night Shift Brewery at Lovejoy Wharf in Boston. Come join us for an evening of good books, good food. More information can be found at the link in the chat. As always, we'd welcome your thoughts and would love to hear from you. Feel free to find us on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, or just drop us a line on charlesbridge.com. Have a great weekend and be sure to stay warm. Bye.